This school started mostly for selfish reasons. The other co-founder and I, Tom Bankston, we were trying to figure out where we were going to send our kids to high school, and we were not really happy with any of the options that we had available to us. And one day over breakfast, we just said, well, why don't we just start a high school? How hard can it be?
As we were looking to start the school, we were thinking about the legacy of John Paul the Great, John Paul II. His whole message was we needed to overcome the culture of death with a culture of life. That was our charge. We thought the most meaningful way to manifest a pro-life charism, if you will, would be to keep the tuition low. The school is really built on three pillars, if you will, and those are Catholic identity, classical curriculum, and then affordability. Not only does that manifest this idea of celebrating life, but it also passes on an important lesson to the students. We teach that you can do a lot with a little.
What Chesterton Academy is, we're both unabashedly orthodox in our fidelity to the church, and also uncompromising in academic rigor. And those two things, not only can they go together, they must go together, right? So we teach students how to think and how to learn, and we reject the modern fallacy that faith and reason contradict one another. That's not true. They've always been complementary, and that's always been the teaching of the church. And we're going to stay close to Mother Church, and that's why we're going to stick to a classical education that's tried and true.
The philosophy of the school is that all truth springs out of the Incarnation. That is the central truth to our education that we teach. And so the best example of putting the Incarnation at the center of our day is we start the day at daily Mass.
I've always thought the Mass is such a unique part of being a Catholic. Why wouldn't you build that into your daily schedule if you had the opportunity? Well, we did. So we put it right at the start of the day, and the kids are there with the Eucharist, and it's a magnificent way to start your day. The whole curriculum is taught through the lens of Catholicism. And what we mean by that is that religion is not just a class that's taught for 30 minutes on Wednesdays and Fridays, okay? It is the core around which all other subjects come.
All the academic subjects, whether it's the humanities, math, science, the arts, they all draw their meaning, right, from the faith. And so that's we try to keep the faith at the center of that and teach everything through the lens of the church. One of the challenges is just to stay true to that mission and to make sure that our parents are educated and reminded too of what we're about and what we're shooting for.
The foundation is not the bells and whistles, not the flash and the cash, but it's really the scientific method, and that's teaching kids how to think. Technology can get in the way of that sometimes because the kids are so keyed into what the technology is doing and they're not really doing the thinking themselves. The more you strip that down and make it very hands-on, kids get a better experience. And that's where we mentor, that's where we coach them, we teach them how to think.
With the basic presumption that learning happens through relationships, strongly formed by the Thomistic intellectual tradition of my educational background. It's easy for the students to click with because it's the natural way that we learn. It's the natural way that we approach relationships. And I think there's a natural affinity to that. The things that the students are passionate about, the things that they love, are the things that they approach in this way. And they can see that all things can kind of be done in that learning in general happens in that way. And it's that kind of process that happens here.
I think the number of students, they found something real here. They found not just an approach that works, but also they found an academic environment that they see that the world needs, right? And they want to be a part of that.
It's really a very direct, physical kind of experience. So we're painting with, oils on panel, and we're using pencil and charcoal. And you do see those students who are gifted and who find that giftedness and didn't know it was there.
At some point, these kids are going to have to go out and they're going to be the warriors, they're going to be the leaders. They're going to start businesses and start schools, most importantly families. But they need to be armed, right? They need to be trained up in the faith and with a certain ordered, specific knowledge that they can take out into the world. And that's our job.
They'll take this identity and we'll give them a place to work from, a culture that they feel like they inhabit. Our modern world strips those sort of things away from people, in a family background and a sense of belonging to a tradition or to a heritage, and that they will then feel like they have some way to comprehend what else is going on in the culture around them, so that they can look at that and really have a sense of where things belong.
I did not want to go at all. I came in kicking, screaming, but I realized that at Chesterton, they taught me how to think.
It causes you to kind of better understand yourself and see what you're capable of. It broadens your mind, I think, and it broadens your experiences to see what's all out there.
It's one of those places where you could just kind of jump into it and you don't have the risk of being made fun of or doing it wrong, because even if you're doing it wrong, everybody's there to support you, to help you get better.
I knew that I wanted something more to develop my Catholic faith, and so I heard about Chesterton, and they helped me to kind of relearn my Catholic faith.
It's been a really amazing experience. Just the joy here has been really beautiful, and also just the passion for learning and for knowledge. I think that's really important for our world today, is just to be able to take those things from all different parts of life and put them together into one whole, I guess.
Just being able to take what I've learned from my faith and be able to apply that to everything. Because everywhere your faith can be brought into it.
It's great to have every teacher know the faith, love the faith, and want to help teach the faith. It's something that you don't get anywhere else. None of the schools have just this joy. It's so full of life.
I'm able to look beyond just the little fine details of, science class or math class or history. I'm able to connect them and look beyond and see what's more.
The whole effort of starting Chesterton Academy grew out of the idea of parents simply wanting to pass on their faith. And that's why we're doing this, because we're trying to live our faith at home, and we want to put our kids in an environment during the school day where that passing on of the faith can be continued.
What we're trying to develop here is a school that places the faith at the center of the life of the mind. So that's going to inform your choices about the books that you read, the programs that you might bring into the building or not bring into the building.
Chesterton says if Christianity is true, it's a truth that affects everything. And I think that's the way we teach at school. That truth affects everything else. People realized that we were giving a very good education, and people were seeing that lives were being changed. There was this instant feeling that we were doing the right thing.